So far in looking at our navigation methods, we've used a button to move from one scene to another, whether it be a button on the actual view or a go back button in the navigation controller. There are other navigation methods and UI elements that we can use. In this lesson, we're going to look at the tab bar. The tab bar is really easy to use. I enjoy using it for my applications because you get so much for free. So we have our basic project, and I'm going to add a tab bar controller. We'll drag that in there. And we're going to need to do some resizing, of course. The tab bar controller gives us the basic tab bar, and then it also gives us two scenes as well. And of course we can add more if we like. So we'll get a little bit of resizing here so that we can fully see what's going on. So here's the base controller. And here's what they call item 1. And then down under here is item 2. This was our original view controller, and I only want one thing from that. I want the entry point. And I'll move that to my tab bar controller. And now I'm done with this view controller. So I'll get him out of our way. Okay, so now we can see a little bit better. I have my tab bar controller, I have item 1 and item 2. And you can see the tabs are already set up. Alright, so I want to change this so that I have a search tab and a settings tab. I'm going to add some images first. And my search image and my settings image, I'm also going to add these @2x versions of search and settings. And those are important because iOS will choose the appropriate image for resolution. So they're the same image, they're just different resolutions. The small version is 32 by 32, and the larger version is 64 by 64. And back to my storyboard. So now I want to change these images. The obvious thing, of course, is to click here or here. Or maybe look in the tab bar controller itself and, well, let's see. We have these segues and, there's nothing there. Okay. So the actual answer is, these are items on the item views. So we have these little item views. So I'm going to go to item 1. And I'm going to set its title, and we'll make this the search tab. And you can see the tab bar controller updated as well as the actual item. And I'm going to choose my search image. And again, the image changed on both. Then we'll go to item 2, and we'll call this settings. And you can see the image and the title changed in both. Okay, so now I can treat these essentially as any view controller that I would like. I could add a Swift file in order to handle any kind of events or data that I have on this particular view. And I can add controls, like just as I normally would. So let's add some labels just so we can identify them when we switch around. And we'll add our label to our item 2. So that's our storyboard. And again, it's one of these things where I can do this completely without any Swift code. And let's run and see what we got. So we have our tabs, our label for our search view. The first tab came up by default, but I can select that if I want to. And I have our second tab for settings. And I can bounce back and forth as much as I want. You can also see that the icons are gray when the tab is not selected, and they go into that iOS blue when they are selected. That does limit you a little bit. By default, you can only use monochrome icons. So all you will get is the gray and blue. If you want something a bit splashier, well, you have to subclass the control or build some sort of custom control. But you do get a fair amount of functionality out of this just for using the storyboard without any code. So in our next lesson, we're going to get a little bit fancier, and we're going to use